Okay, Akaash, in all seriousness, you didn't get Joe Rogan canceled again, but you guys did have a fun conversation. Great podcast. Time. How do you feel about it?
I felt good. I didn't want to try too hard. I didn't want to push too much but I felt like it was good. I felt like I did what I needed to do when I got there.
You were excellent.
Fun. Thank you so much.
And I mean this objectively. And I'll tell you something honestly, and I think I texted you this. I didn't know. I knew I was going to be excited for you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how happy and exciting it was. I was like blown away.
Yeah.
Like I got emotional.
I did too. But
you're supposed to.
Yo, at you. This how supportive you've been through this whole thing. How much I said this on Rogan, so more people heard it. But the amount of help this guy gave me on the special, he said a couple days before it dropped, I got from 12 to 4 p.m. I'll help you edit. This guy taught me how to elevate every aspect of the special and stay till 4 a.m. 16 hours.
But that's what we do.
He's why the special was late, but it was worth it.
That's what we do for each other. And you spent hours with me, like when we were preparing for Guy Code and all these things back in the day. This is just what we do. But I was just so proud of you. You were so eloquent, so articulate. Just great perspective, and you were really yourself there. I think a lot of people go on Rogan and they're so caught up in what that moment is that it's very easy to lose yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like you're sitting in front of the president and all you start to go is I guess maybe I do share more views with you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like you gave pushback. He started talking about the JFK assassination and literally you just went, Joe. I stopped listening a while ago. I couldn't believe you said that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this guy's got balls. He has to pee bad. And they did take a pee break.
I did. I had to stay true. G's up.
I know. You did 2.5 hours with him before a pee break. You can go 30 minutes on this fucking podcast.
Did you see how little water I drank?
Say what?
Did you see how little water I was drinking?
I didn't notice.
Dude, the amount of focus I was going in there with, I was like, I cannot slip. This guy... sometimes you'll say some shit in an argument or discussion or whatever, and as you're saying it, you're like, there's a little hole in here. I hope they don't catch it.
Yeah.
He catches it every fucking time.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
That's why I was so excited for you to go. And I was talking to Kunal about this because I bumped into him last night.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just like, I think that you're not going to go, a comedian is not going to go on Rogan's podcast and say anything about cancel culture, wokeness, etc., that Rogan doesn't already know. He's already spoken to the best experts on this.
Yes.
Right? He's spoken to people who get paid for a living just to think about this stuff.
Right.
So a comedian coming on, right, you're not going to blow him away with that.
Right.
But you have your specific experience
that
he doesn't know about. Right. He doesn't know what it's like to be an Indian American dude.
Right.
And what you feel. Do you feel oppressed? Do you feel offended by jokes, etc.? He can't tell you how that feels. And he probably hasn't interviewed people who have given that perspective.
Right.
So you got to be an expert.
Yeah.
And it was this really cool thing. Where he was listening and really curious and you guys had this cool comedy discussion, but you still had this nugget of information that he didn't have, and he was really curious about learning, and you just executed it perfectly. And maybe I'm fluffing you right now, but I just was so proud. I've listened to the episode maybe 2 times. I just keep scrolling back and forth, waiting for you guys to talk about me. And and then, but no, seriously, it's so good, and I think everybody should go listen to it. You were so good, so calm, so confident.
Yeah, I was nervous as fuck.
You didn't come across.
Well, the things I always hate when I press too hard. When you try too hard, that's the thing that I know I've done. So I was like, do not think that just because so many people are listening, you need to try too hard and push too hard to be funny. Let the shit happen as it happens. Right. Don't try to make yourself somebody you're not, and just be honest and authentic and talk. And if you don't agree, obviously you respect the fuck out of this guy, so you're not going to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
So just have a respectful, I don't know, what do you think about this?
Anything you wish you did differently?
There were certain things that I wish I had said, little points I wish I had made, but overall, I wish I didn't get him canceled. That's it. That's the main thing.
It's so funny. It came out that there's this person who gets paid to listen to every Rogan podcast for misinformation.
Well, that's the person that did the article.
Really? Yeah. I thought those were different people.
No. So Alex Patterson
was the person on Twitter.
Was the person on Twitter, and that's the person that kicked up the story in the first place. So the main tweet is Spotify's Joe Rogan and comedian Akaash Singh mock child sex abuse and claim it's, quote, fine for boys to have sex with adult women.
Bro, I think I got brought up in that same thing because they were going through past episodes, and literally exactly what's going to happen is we call this, right? It was first it's going to be racism, the next it's going to be misogyny.
Dude, I was listening to your first Rogan because I thought it was so good. To just mentally be this is the mindset.
Yeah.
there's a moment where you predict exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
At like an hour and 28 minutes in, you say when your ideas are too good and big, like for them to compete with, they just make you radioactive. And then you literally said, they're just going to make you racist. Oh, I don't need to talk to Joe Rogan. He's racist.
Bro, and then I say, I think, transphobic and all these other things.
After that,
Miles, we'll give you the clip because Shifty just cut up the clip. You see it in everything. You see it in comedy. It's like, oh, I can't do that type of comedy, so I'm going to make that comedy radioactive so that this is the only type of comedy that's allowed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be comedy. It could really be any kind of situation. It's like you're just trying to carve out the market share. Like, oh, that comedy's dirty. That's edgy. That's sexist. That's bigoted.
Censor it. But it's also like the same thing you see with the right versus the left. There's a lot of people online from each side that want to censor the opinions of the other people instead of having a better opinion.
Yeah, that's a
they
power
want to
grab.
shut that opinion off.
And when they don't have a better opinion, they just make you radioactive so they don't even have to talk to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe Rogan, you're racist. And you're like, what do you mean? Let's talk about it. You're like, I don't talk to racists.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was clever what you did. I went through that. Like the second I had an opinion that went against the grain, immediately I'm labeled as something that they don't even have to have a dialogue with.
Right, they just shut you down.
Boom.
Yeah. Oh, you're a white supremacist.
Exactly.
Oh, you're alt-right.
Yes.
Oh, you're this, you're that. It's like a magic trick. It only works if you don't know what they're trying to do.
But what a job.
Yeah.
Like your job is literally to sit there and cancel Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the hardest part of that is not liking the podcast.
And you're gonna.
Yeah. It's too many different people on there.
You're
You have
gonna
to like
start
some.
liking it. You're gonna start getting perspective.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have to quit your job.
Right.
Or hate yourself. It's
hate
like those
himself.
people who are, what is it called? Spies for the mafia. They work for
Yeah.
Donnie Brasco, whatever
Yeah,
that guy
yeah,
is.
yeah.
You're a policeman, but you're undercover. Yeah, like or undercover.
No, he's undercover.
But like, I think what might happen with some of them is like you actually start to like fall in love with these people.
I'm sure, yeah.
You're with them all day.
I think you can separate though.
No.
The good ones
I
can.
think so.
Sometimes if you're there long enough, you're gonna.
I mean, if you're in it and like you're
If you're
learning
listening-
interpersonal shit, I get it. But I think if you're just observing or like doing something you think is unethical, doesn't align with your moral code, I think you can remove yourself.
Yeah.
What if
maybe.
you start doing some of those activities with them?
I mean, he's doing
That's the
13. He's the Rogan is right here in his ears for 13 hours a week.
Yeah.
At some point, if you're actively listening, you're going to be like, "Yo, this is pretty fucking interesting."
Yeah.
You're at least going to have more perspective.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, well, he definitely isn't what everybody's saying.
Right.
Low key, this could be the best possible thing. That person quits their job, it exposes everything.
They just get another watchdog. They go, yeah, they moved on, they got promoted.
They
whatever.
will,
Yeah.
but if those people keep quitting, it's like, wait, why does this one job, which is the easiest job in the world, why do these people keep quitting? And then they'll do a think piece, and it's like, I actually listened to the guy, and I found out, wow, it's like a lot of unique voices on here. He's trying to have a good perspective. Sometimes he's saying jokes, but a lot of things he's saying that are horrible or out of context. And
Yeah. And to an eye-opening thing, thank God, he asked me how I was doing up top. You were like, how do you open the Joe Rogan podcast? When he asked me how I was doing, I just kind of laughed, and I was like, buddy, how are you doing? And that was
great.
like, that was my genuine feeling. But it was such an interesting answer. He said, it's a relief. Because I've known this was out there and I've wanted to apologize for it. I've regretted it. And now I just get to do that. So now that that's out of the way, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
It's freedom.
You're scraping for a joke conversation where we're laughing, talking about something. Everybody, I heard an AM radio, the Tiki Wiki did this shit like 3 weeks ago. Why is it worse when this exact scenario happens? Male student, female teacher versus the other way around. They literally pontificated, why is it worse? Because they all accepted that it was worse. We all accept that it's worse. Not everyone is good. And then somebody said, this is kind of a little like vivid, but he was like, I think, this is vivid, but I think when it's a female, like a young female, she's the one getting penetrated. And that's why it seems so much more visceral for us.
Yeah, penetration is always worse.
Yeah.
Because it's like female teacher to female student, and they're just like rubbing, box lips.
Yeah.
Cleats
Al.
part two.
I'm with you, man.
If they're just rubbing box lips, bro, they both throw on the clap cleats, kick one leg up on a wall,
Don't do this again.
and just start clapping with that labia, dude.
That angle, right?
Teacher and the student.
I'm talking about a teacher that's in MBA.
There we go.
I'm talking about a teacher. I'm talking about a teacher that might be 30 years old and a student might be 25.
That's
Or
what I'm talking about.
someone that got
Might
held
be
back a lot.
31.
Yeah.
They might be 31. It doesn't matter what year they are, but I know that they're older. And I know when them coochies start clapping, bro, if they don't have the right clap clean on, they might slip, fall all over the place, Alex. It's an episode of Whiplash.
Don't do that.
It's good.
You got Wipeout, whatever that fucking show is, where Asians can't do things. You know the show, right? Right, you are, Ken.
Ninja Warrior.
That's MXT.
Oh, that's Ninja Warrior?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like calling them all ninjas, buddy.
That's a little
like
racist.
that's a little bit more racist.
That's a little racist.
Yeah.
Alex,
Yeah,
I expect better
Wipeout
from you as a
has
black man.
Us on there.
Say what?
Wipeout is Americans.
Oh, it's the American version of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So American Ninja Warrior is what?
You might have got me on that one. You might have got me on that one.
Okay. But you feel good. Response has been good.
What is funny with this person, Alex Patterson, that's like watchdogging, is that I think what will happen more likely is that every time that there's a stretch or a reach to try to find something, because ultimately the job is maintained by finding shit to get outraged by, and there's not a ton of stuff to get outraged by. So things like this, for example, Akaash's tweet where this person's trying to like put Akaash and Joe in this awful conversation, all the replies are like, LOL, that's hilarious. Or like, oh, this is a reach, or I think it's funny, you should not take comedy that serious. Or this account is Joe Rogan's best bits compiled.
Yeah.
Like all the comments. I can't find one comment. This is on Twitter. And people following like a very like, I don't know, like liberal, cancel-y kind of person.
It's great for Joe.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
It's great.
Literally paying attention to him is what the cancelers don't do. That is the problem.
That's what canceling is, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't know the full picture of a human, and you're getting them out of there off of the worst thing that they said in their life.
Right.
So
With no context.
If you have someone who all of a sudden has context, and they're holding the what's it called, the release button for the guillotine, but now they have context. They're like, do I really need to write this whole article? He was clearly joking, and 10 seconds later said it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Now, if only someone did that for the news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why don't we have one person who just listens to the news, a 24-hour news cycle, and just writes down every time they get something wrong?
We got a teenager that tracks Elon Musk's jet, but we don't have an adult that's just watching CNN and going, this is bullshit.
Yeah, you should have one for all of them. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC.
Every single one.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school, I had a teacher named Mr. Davis, and he would give extra credit for when we found out he was wrong.
Oh, yeah, we had one of those
that's
too.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, fact check me. If I say some shit, go read it. And he's like, sometimes I'm going to say some shit that's wrong.
That's dope.
Like, on purpose.
Yeah.
To see if you guys are paying
To
attention.
see what catch
I mean,
it.
that's a little wild.
He's a wild boy. This dude was a wild boy.
That's a little wild.
But if
I never
nobody
seen
caught
somebody control a room. Like, literally, I get comedy things from him.
Really?
The guy was an 8th grade American history teacher.
What race are you, huh? The guy's just like, what? Why is that relevant to history class?
So in American history, very.
That's a good point. Good point.
But like, I've learned more in American history than anybody else, than anybody else I've ever like taken classroom. But like, the way he controlled that classroom, it was unbelievable, dude. Like, nobody spoke. Never cared to be anybody's friend. Never tried to ingratiate himself to the class at all.
That's a good teacher.
And the craziest kids, the kids who were like getting in fights, all that kind of stuff, locked it. Dude, we weren't even allowed to enter the class until he said. Everybody lined up outside the class. Stoic. I didn't even think I saw him smile the whole time. It was I was like, oh my God, you can control a room just with like pace and intensity.
And what is it? You wanted his respect, like all the people in the class?
I just learned that like silence is valuable.
Yeah, but why did y'all fall in line for him? What do you think it was?
I think that he didn't care if we liked him. And I think that he cared. I think that we felt like there would be consequences for our actions, and he wasn't to be played around with. And he made class very easy to succeed in. He told us the things he wanted us to write down, and he's like, write this down, and then kept talking, write this down. And all of us got this sense like, as long as I'm here and I'm writing down the things that he's telling me, and I get tested on these things, I can do well.